Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. As I told previously that I'll be coming up with another video. This is a health insurance masterclass, and our guest today is my very good friend and our SEBI registered investment advisor, Mr. Krishna RATH, connecting all the way from Bhubaneswar, Odisha. And before we begin further and make a deep dive into the video, उनके बारे में मैं थोड़ा introduction देना चाहूँगा. So Mr. RATH is the first SEBI registered investment advisor of Odisha, and he got his license in 2015, and he was the first guy in Odisha to do that. And at the same time he was the first of these people जब सेबी ने इन्वेस्टमेंट एडवाइजर रेगुलेशंस लेके आए थे तो उस टाइम ही वाज वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट पीपल हु गॉट दिस लाइसेंस एंड इट्स बीन मोर देन 7 to 8 years he is practicing as a investment advisor. He has previous experience of management consulting, information technology, and on top of that he's also a IIM graduate. So all those management experience and top education helps him bring a very good consulting experience for his clients, and he makes sure that they're well satisfied and their all the financial planning needs are well covered. So over back to Mr. Krishna. Would you like to say something about how do you feel that I have invited you for this session, and what is the remarks regarding that?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much, Sankalp, for inviting me to your channel. And it's always good to share the experiences. And financial advisory is growing in India, and folks like you are doing a very good work of spreading financial awareness and trying to ensure that people understand what financial products are and helping them take the right decision. So in my last 8 years, what I primarily do is not complicate the portfolio. A lot of people expect that, as a financial advisor, investment advisor, I will have some hidden formula with me that will make people rich in 2 days. It's actually uncomplicating the portfolio, making things very simple. So that's financial advisory, and that's what I believe in. That's what I have been doing for the last 8 years.
Okay. So आज का जो स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक है हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस का, ये इट इज़ राइट नाउ हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस हैज़ बिकम अ वेरी हाउस होल्ड बजवर्ड. पीपल आर एक्चुअली डिस्कसिंग अबाउट इट. प्रीवियसली उतना अवेयरनेस नहीं था, बट आफ्टर आपका जो डिजिटल रेवोल्यूशन इंडिया में हुआ, द इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी, पीपल हैव एक्सेस टू इन्फॉर्मेशन. प्रीवियसली प्रॉब्लम क्या होता था कि इफ़ यू टेल हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस और एनी फाइनेंशियल प्रोडक्ट्स और एनी कंसेप्ट टू एनी इंडिविजुअल, वो सोचते थे कि ये होता क्या है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल राइट नाउ ऐसा हो गया सिचुएशन कि दे नो कि क्या है, बट नाउ इट्स अ पैरालिसिस सिचुएशन फॉर देम कि इतना इन्फॉर्मेशन है, एंड राइट नाउ व्हाट डू वी डू अबाउट इट. मीन्स ऑप्शंस का भी ऑप्शंस आ गया. इट हैज़ बिकम वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. एंड ये जो चैनल स्पेसिफिकली आई क्रिएटेड, इट इज़ बिकॉज इट्स वेरी मच कंसंट्रेटेड फॉर माई फ्रेंड्स एंड फैमिलीज एंड एक्सटेंडेड पीपल इन माई सोशल सर्कल, बिकॉज दे विल बी हियरिंग फ्रॉम अ पर्सन एंड आई विल बी ब्रिंगिंग फर्दर पीपल whom I trust and who have with whom I have a good relationship, so they can understand from a personal standpoint. Means it has to be relatable for them also. Means with that regard, so health insurance में we will like to discuss some of the aspects. Means आज के डेट में how it has become important. What would you like to say? What is the emphasis of health insurance in the financial planning?
Right. Very nice point. And Sankalp, your series on health insurance awareness is one of the best series. Very practical. Very simple series. So thank you very much for getting that awareness. Health insurance अभी का ज़माने में it is a mandatory thing. Earlier we used to think it as an optional item, but in financial planning we all know that it was always a mandatory item, like life insurance and health insurance. And previously, especially prior to COVID, I think health insurance people were not taking it very seriously. They were thinking that क्या होगा, ठीक है, company policy तो है. But then क्या हुआ कि COVID में we have to understand that there were multiple hits. One is that many companies, apart from a few technology firms in the technology sector, many other sectors had issues. Company shut down. So people didn't even have company coverages.
Right.
And when company coverage went out, they did not have their personal coverage. So as now we all realize and understand that health insurance, personal health insurance is now mandatory. Even if you have a health insurance coverage with your employer, it is very important that you should have your personal health insurance. And very rightly put, because of information boom, there is a lot of decision paralysis also that is happening. People don't know what to take. Either they take a health insurance policy which is not really suitable for them, or they don't know how to go about it, don't know how amount is actually needed. There is always that continuous debate about super top up, normal policy, and all that. So yes, health insurance is very important. It is now mandatory. Even if you have a very good corporate coverage, it is very, very important to have a health insurance, your own personal health insurance, family floater preferably with you. And also very important that parental health insurance, and we will talk about this as we move forward. And so health insurance a must-have package, and there is no second thoughts about it. A lot of people previously, prior to COVID, I used to advise that take a health insurance package and all. They also said, ठीक है, company का तो है. But then COVID changed it all.
Yeah, means when you're talking about this company and corporate policies, I was recently doing one consultation from Hyderabad. So what exactly happened? This gentleman was working with a very popular edtech company who was also a sponsor of FIFA. Okay, so guys, you can make out the name of the company. So what happened ki because of this downsizing after आपका 2022 के around, they reduced the benefits or they had to let go of certain employees. उन्होंने क्या किया, उनका हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस का कंपनी का क्लॉज को रिवाइज किया था. तो उसमें क्या हुआ कि अभी बिल शेयरिंग वाला उसमें सिस्टम आ गया. सो क्या होता है कि इफ यू आर नॉट मैरिड टू द कंपनी, ओके, सो दे हैव द अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड दे हैव द पावर टू मेक सर्टेन चेंजेस इन योर पॉलिसी डिपेंडिंग अपॉन उनका क्या कंफर्ट लेवल है, बिकॉज दे आर द एम्प्लॉयर, दे आर द डिसीजन मेकर्स इन दैट. बट व्हेन यू आर हैविंग योर ओन पर्सनल पॉलिसी एंड योर प्राइवेट कवरेज, so things are very clear and transparent between you and the company, and your rights are well protected before the regulator also. So that becomes very important because it's a contract between you and the company. You are the primary parties who are involved in that. But आपका employer जो insurance वगैरह देते हैं आपको as a corporate, so you are the beneficiary but you are not the party who's involved in the contract. So the legal structure उसका change हो जाता है. But yeah, at the end of the day hospital जाओगे, medical bills have to be paid, that is the end goal. But how do we make the process smoother, that becomes the objective. So
very correct. So corporate policies का कुछ advantages है, कुछ disadvantages भी है. And I think the best thing that anybody can have is a combination of both corporate and personal. Because there are certain things, for example, maternity, right? अभी personal लोगे तो maternity लेकर कोई फायदा नहीं है. You are just paying a little bit more premium on it. So it's better that if you have a corporate policy, at least till 25 to 50,000 typically corporate policies cover. But that's kind of those one-time events that corporate policies have those advantages. And not all companies allow you to port their group medical policies. So in India, it would have been really very great if all group medical insurance companies, when you end your employment or when the employment ends, you can actually port it, but not all allow it because there are other challenges in terms of finding out everybody's medical history, because जब group insurance होता है तो it is at a cluster level, not at an individual level.
And Krishna sir, what I also think based on our consultation, our common experiences also, I can say कि जो listed companies हैं usually stock market में and the public companies are there, usually they are giving at the times this type of options. Okay, because उनका accountability level ज़्यादा रहता है, social they are guided by various social and your labor laws, तो they give this option कि आप port कर लो वो policy को and it's a voluntary thing. Correct me if I'm wrong with that.
Yeah, see, even if the company is listed, also there are companies that don't allow it. It's not. I mean, it's about listed है तो obviously again अगर वो large cap kind of company है तो ठीक है, they are well funded and they pay good amount of premium also. But you have to understand that there are other complications that will happen. It's not that all policies can be ported. Even if all policies can be ported through the regulation, it's not a very convenient mechanism because it's not easy. It's again not very easy. The information is not also very readily there. And that's a challenge. Okay. These are some small challenges, and plus, even if you port it, typically corporate policies, the limits are 3L, 5L, and all that. So even if you are porting it at a base level, you're not porting it at the top-up level in the corporate. And remember, corporate top-ups are very different from the personal top-ups. So corporate top-ups, you don't have to worry about the administrative hassle of it because the company representative and the TPS take care of it. Usually they take care of it. But when you port it again, it's like kind of 3L, 4L. आप किसी भी company में जाओ, not more than 3L, 4L coverage is provided. Right? At a very base level, at a very standard default level, it's only that the employee has to pay further and then enhance the limit. But these days there are very good policies that you can even take for say 10L, 15L at a very competitive premium, and that stays with you. It creates your own health record. So it's very good to have those, some of those policies, and with no claim bonus, doubling, tripling, etc. A good 30-40L of health insurance coverage can be attained in a few years.
Proceeding to the next question, since in the process of financial planning जो client का entire आप exercise करते हैं, या means I would like to know from your experience and your consulting philosophy, या client के साथ आपका जो भी experience रह चुका है, like व्हाट इज द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस? अगर किसी के पोर्टफोलियो में फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग में सारा चीज़ उन्होंने करके रखा है, लेट्स से रिटायरमेंट प्लानिंग है, या फिर उनका दे आर प्लानिंग फॉर ए हाउस, जो भी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स कर रहे हैं, चिल्ड्रन का एजुकेशन हो गया, लाइफ इंश्योरेंस वगैरह, बट हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस का वहाँ पे की रोल, व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज द रोल इन दैट वन, व्हाट हाउ इट इज बिकम इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट इन द पोर्टफोलियो, तो उसका रोल क्या होता है? Means if you can simplify for us the viewer, though we know it, but we want so that other people can also understand that.
ठीक है, सिंपल लैंग्वेज में बोले तो हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस नहीं है तो रिटायरमेंट का पैसा गया।
Right.
जब आप हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन केस में एडमिट होंगे तो आपका रिटायरमेंट भी गया, आपके बच्चे का एजुकेशन भी गया, योर हाउस प्लानिंग ड्रीम्स आर आल्सो शैटर्ड। सो ऑल दिस इज इंश्योरेंस, दैट इज इंश्योरेंस। पीपल थिंक दैट मैंने पॉलिसी ले लिया तो आई हैव टू गेट एडमिटेड इन हॉस्पिटल, ऐसा नहीं है। और वी आर टेलिंग दैट हाँ आपको हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट होना है, देन ओनली यू विल गेट अ रिटर्न। ये इंश्योरेंस है, दिस इज प्रोटेक्शन अगेंस्ट रिस्क, यानी अगर कुछ हो जाएगा तो क्या होगा, तो इसलिए आप थोड़ा सा प्रीमियम देते हैं। एंड आजकल के हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन कॉस्ट इतने बढ़ गए हैं कि यू नो simple operation itself will be around 2 to 3 lakhs. That's going to set you back by that amount of money. So health insurance is a must have, like I said in previously. It is must have because um, any little bit seriousness, for example accident, bike mein ja rahe gir gaye, there is a minor concussion in your head, you will be put in ICU these days. These days standard healthcare process is that putting you in ICU, putting in observation, and everybody wants good healthcare also. आजकल healthcare मिल रहा है इंडिया में, hospitals are also advanced now, so and everybody demands that, and that requires money. So at the time of that hospitalization you should have some sort of protection, and that protection money that you are giving over here is your insurance amount that you pay for health insurance.
Right.
But again repeat that अगर नहीं है तो जो भी प्लानिंग हुआ है, ऐसे हुआ है केसेस, जो भी प्लानिंग आपने किए हैं, especially to you could be HNI whatever class and all that, there is still a debt.
Right.
There will be still a debt.
Actually
हमने ये कोविड में
recently
देखा है।
I come across a case only, ये आपका अगस्त सितंबर का शायद केस होगा। So that gentleman actually is working in केंद्रीय विद्यालय संगठन, he is a teacher in that, and his wife actually got meningitis. So brain में जो bacteria virus it comes into that, it affects the nervous system and all. So because of that उनका she was kept into the ICU, उनको ब्रेन स्ट्रोक आया मैम को, एंड ये भुवनेश्वर का ही केस है। एंड उसमें क्या हुआ, ही हैड स्पेंड अ साइजेबल अमाउंट इन दैट, क्योंकि जो KVS इट्स पर से पीपल थिंक इट्स नॉट अ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशन, okay, it is the budget is being controlled by that, but it is not a central government organization, it is different from that. Hence वो CGHS का जो central government health insurance scheme है उसके अंदर it does not come. A lot of people have this misconception when they join the service, then they realize कि अच्छा ऐसा होता है क्या, then it becomes a problem कि अरे यार अभी तो 5 साल 7 साल सर्विस के भी निकल गया, प्रीमियम भी मेरा ज़्यादा हो गया, अभी बीच में छोटे मोटे खर्चे भी मैं खुद ही दे के रखा हूँ, so then they get into that zone. But coming back to that example, उनका क्या हुआ, so they spent somewhere around I think 6 to 8 lakh rupees in that. So ma'am was admitted for around 9 to 11 days in that ICU, gradual recovery हो रहा था. They send those कई की चीज़ क्या होता है, आपका लोकल हॉस्पिटल में ट्रीटमेंट नहीं हो पाता है, तो वो दे हैव टू सेंड अ सैम्पल टू द डिफरेंट पार्ट ऑफ द कंट्री, लाइक चेन्नई, वेलोर, आपका टाटा मेमोरियल और मुंबई, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन कहाँ पे वो फैकल्टी मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर्स या स्पेशलिस्ट अवेलेबल है. सो दीज टाइप ऑफ थिंग्स एक्चुअली एड अप द कॉस्ट. इट्स नॉट ओनली कि आप ट्रीटमेंट में गए हैं, तो उनका जो ट्रीटमेंट कॉस्ट था वो 7 से 9 लाख रुपए आया, एंड एट द सेम टाइम ही हैज़ टू विदड्रॉ सम अमाउंट फ्रॉम द PPF ऑल्सो, प्रोविडेंट फंड. इट्स अ टाइप ऑफ रिटायरमेंट कंट्रीब्यूशन जो हमको बोलते हैं, इट इज टेकन केयर फॉर दैट. एंड जैसे आपने भी कृष्णा सर यू स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन कि अगर इंश्योरेंस नहीं हुआ है तो आपका रिटायरमेंट का पैसा गया. सो दैट एग्जैक्टली आई हैव विटनेस्ड दिस इन माई सेल्फ in this matter of this months only. So what you say is absolutely correct and very right that insurance के बिना investment कर दरिया में डाल, that becomes the thing. If something
exactly.
some problem is coming and it's a human body, we will require some maintenance sooner or later, that's the reality. So why not better be prepared for it. So that is how
and
I
लोग
think.
क्या करते हैं कि very good, that example that you gave, that the human body requires maintenance and protection. लोग ये कार वॉश अपने गाड़ी लेकर जाते हैं, कार वॉश 1000 रुपए दे देते हैं वॉश के लिए, फोम वॉश, बट 1000 रुपए का प्रीमियम नहीं देते हैं कि फॉर देयर ओन हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी.
Right.
बिकॉज दे थिंक दैट इट इज अ वेस्ट, बट इट्स नॉट अ वेस्ट. द डे यू रिक्वायर इट, एंड होपफुली आई ऑलवेज प्रे, आई ऑलवेज टेल द क्लाइंट दैट pray to God, or even if you don't pray to God also, just be positive that you never land up in that situation, because hospitalization is not a very happy situation to be in. But the day you are, if something happens and you are admitted, then that day your entire savings, retirement planning, goal planning, all Excel sheet will go for a toss.
Right. And
if you don't have health insurance.
this another examples is my younger brother was watching YouTube shorts. तो he showed me a very interesting video. उसमें क्या हुआ, एक US आपका जेट फाइटर प्लेन पायलट था. He was flying the plane and these are experienced people, but he was not able to land. कुछ एरोप्लेन में इशू आ गया. He put the eject seat and he got out with the parachute. So though he's a trained professional, he knows how to fly those type of speed planes and fighter jets. But even then he required a parachute for a emergency situation. So it's
Correct.
the role of insurance is just like that.
Correct.
Depending how good healthy you are, but accidents can happen to anyone. So in that situation, that health insurance helps you in a very good manner. So because you are in this space now, we are in that. So we try to generate some examples so that when we are doing the consultation work, so our client actually understand the value of this advice. नहीं तो बोलने के लिए तो ये ऐसे बातें हैं, but वही है, if you believe truly in the consultant who's giving you the advice, so then it can make a lot of changes in your financial life. Means मानो तो पानी है, मतलब मानो तो गंगा है, नहीं तो बहता पानी. It's just like that only. So means these are the candid conversation we are having. We both are friends. We are having a good time, and I wanted to keep this conversation very candid, and so that you guys can also enjoy our today's session. So we'll go to the next topic, and then we will take some of the questions I got from people from the various part of the country from means of my channel. So what are these common mistakes? क्या चीज हम avoid कर सकते हैं? What are the blunders that people usually commit when they are proceeding for any health insurance?
So health insurance key things, one is blunder. मैं तो बोलूँगा कि first is you want to learn health insurance, look at subscribe to Sankar Dupe's channel. You know, very good information, very nice information. Okay, तो आप blunder commit नहीं करोगे. Okay, so see, blunder is what? That 5 लाख रुपए ठीक है. Okay, see when you take 5 लाख रुपए का कवर, आप आजकल के जमाने के 5 लाख देख रहे हो, then no claim bonus होगा, पता नहीं 10 lakhs or whatever होगा and all that. You are supposed to see that हाँ ठीक है, एक extreme end. Okay, so what typical blunders today people do is very different, is very opposite from what pre-COVID times.
अच्छा.
Pre-COVID times में लोग इंश्योरेंस ही लेते नहीं थे, तो या लेते थे तो 2-3 लाख का लेते थे. Now what people are doing is people are taking 50 lakh, 1 crore coverage, which is good, which is fine, but you really require it. Okay, when will you require it? So probably we have to take a more realistic coverage. Something for the next 10 years, even if you take a no claim bonus and all, it becomes 50-60 lakhs. Understand this, that health insurance, it's not like if you have 1 crore and even if the company pays 1 crore rupees, if you're in ICU for 30 days, you will recover. You know, and you have to understand the reason why you're in a hospital, not there for an experience of hospital or doctors.
Yes, it's not a recreational activity.
Yeah, it's not a recreational activity. अगर आप 10 दिन, 12 दिन, 15 दिन ICU में है, the chances of you returning back is also zero.
Right.
Okay, so it's not that if you have, it's people confuse it like, you know, the term insurance coverage. ठीक है, मैं 5 crore लिया, तो हो गया, तो family को मिल गया 5 crore. इससे family को कुछ नहीं मिल रहा है.
Right.
And the challenge is, you know, the more insurance you have, there are cases where the hospital will, you know, put you in the ICU bed for a little longer time.
They'll overcharge and increase the billables also.
Yeah. Yes, there will be extra gloves, 23 extra syringes that will come in, few medicines that will get popped in, and you cannot, you know, over there argue because you are in a very different situation over there. You cannot go there argue. You can take the bill, file cases, and all those things will get into legal tussles and all. So don't take too much insurance. Don't take less insurance also. So probably something around 15 to 30 is a very optimum amount of insurance. And the other thing is, when you're talking the coverage, why I'm talking about this 15-20 coverage, because there are these days policies that give you 2x, 3x amounts if you don't claim. Right? So 2x, 3x itself is your base amount is 15 to 25, 3x is 75L, which is sufficient even for the next 15 to 20 years also. Again, I'm saying that if any amount of money goes more than 25 years, even future value, jitna bhi inflation calculate kar aap dikha do. You know, you are possibly in a state where you may not come out of the hospital alive, right? So, the sweet spot of today's age in terms of insurance coverage is around 15-25. दूसरा है कि like taking policies which are older type of policies. What are older type of policies that have room rent limit, sub limit? I mean, you take 15 lakh policy, उसमें एक sub limit होगा कि आपका cardiac operation में will give only 60,000. I'm just giving an example.
Right.
But there are policies which, you know, have sublimits. So the challenge is the sublimits concept and all was created with some government data created in 1990s or early 2000s, and perhaps have never been revised after that.
What
so
I can
in these days,
what I also understand कि जो चीजें you are mentioning, like कि जो सब लिमिट्स है या मीन्स ओल्डर टाइप ऑफ पॉलिसी, मतलब I am committed to you, but terms and condition apply to a very great extent. So the terms and
Exactly, lot of
conditions are
terms and conditions.
not relaxed. So because of
Exactly,
that, it
exactly.
will affect.
Our terms and conditions will be like a CAT data interpretation question.
Right.
That आपको ये हुआ है, then you are supposed to find out in which clause things are there, which amount, and then only, and it's even tougher because at least in CAT you will have 4 questions, na, in a competitive exam. You will have 4 choices and all that. So this will be, there will be no choice also. So you will have to calculate and then find out that, what amount is coming. Then hospital will come up with some insurance company will pay only say 30%, 40% of that amount. Then you will be wondering why that 40%. So these older type of policies are still floating around in the market. Highly recommended not to take those policies wherein there is room rent limit, sub limits, and a lot of restrictions on those policies. In fact, the biggest blunder people are doing now is, despite doing all these things, they're still sticking on to the older type of policies. And people may sometimes misunderstand me, सोच रहे होंगे कि ये रोल ओवर कर रहा है, बेच रहा है नया पॉलिसी. ऐसा
एंड
नहीं है.
एक और चीज
एवरी
भी है कि
एवरी
आपका जो
जनरेशन.
ये ये जो ओल्डर पॉलिसीज जो है ना, मीन्स द कंपनीज आर कंटिन्यूइंग विद दैट आल्सो. मीन्स यू सी फ्रॉम देयर बिजनेस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ एन इंश्योरेंस कंपनी, लेट्स से वी आर द एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफ लीडिंग इंश्योरेंस कंपनी इन इंडिया, वी विल आल्सो थिंक कि भाई वी शुड हैव एटलीस्ट 20-30 products with us to cater to every type of customers and all.
Exactly.
At least get them something so that our sales or revenue is increasing in our books. So in
Correct.
that, but
Correct.
उसमें क्या होता है कि you are just selling and like moving ahead. Okay, but in those 30 policies you have all type of policies: substandard policy, decent policies, good policies, very good policies, like very expensive policies, all this type of or specific coverages policies. But अभी client को तो पता नहीं, they get some online advertisement, they get कि भाई 30 rupees per day में, या फिर आपका per month के 500 रुपए में ये हो जाएगा वो हो जाएगा. So people think कि अच्छा this thing is possible, but it's just a marketing is very different from what actually the thing that is being delivered to you. So people need to understand
Correct.
that. And
Correct.
these things are not very cheap or very expensive, but they will take a certain part of your income that is required so that you are protected in a very good manner. So they have to be
Correct.
understand the nuances of it.
Yes, yes, and we have to always understand that every generation has changes in economics, changes in the society, and and for most of these older health insurance policies, the premium rates are definitely very good, very nice, and people by default are renewing them. It's not that कोई उनको बता रहा है कि they are also thinking that हाँ हमारे पास हम renew कर रहे हैं and all that. So at sometimes even companies are also not like you said, if I am the executive of a health insurance company, वाई शुड आई टच सम कस्टमर जब वो कंटिन्यूसली रिन्यू कर रहा है उसको.
Right.
अगर मैं बोलूंगा कि नहीं नया पॉलिसी लो, तो वो मेरे कंपनी से वो शिफ्ट करके किसी और के साथ पोर्ट कर लेगा ना. अभी तो
Right.
पोर्टिंग है.
हाँ.
तो फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई एम एक्स कंपनी, मैं बोलूंगा, मैं मेरे कस्टमर को आइडिया दूंगा कि भाई बेटर पॉलिसी है, मेरे पास होगा बेटर पॉलिसी, बट वो सोचा कि अगर मैं बेटर पॉलिसी लूंगा तो व्हाई नॉट आई नॉट सर्च फॉर वाई एंड जेड आल्सो.
Right. Right.
तो दैट इज आल्सो द फियर इन मोस्ट ऑफ द
They
कंपनी. सो
don't
दे से
disturb
भाई
their
जो
customers also.
हाँ, डू नॉट डिस्टर्ब, जो रिन्यू कर रहा है उसको
उसको
रिन्यू
करने
करने
दो.
दो ना. अभी क्यों उनको डिस्टर्ब करें? दे आर आल्सो हैप्पी, वी आर आल्सो हैप्पी. So renewal amounts is also significant part of any insurance company's
Yes.
revenue.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so nobody would want to touch that.
Because every time they're
And
paying the premium na for health insurance, it's a pure lapse and it's a type of expense. So unlike your
I was
investment.
just also coming to that. I
Right.
was
Right.
also coming to that
Good point.
कि people think that ये term insurance के type है कि मैं young हूँ, 25 साल में मैंने ले लिया तो insurance premium amount is same. No, it keeps increasing. It increases in slabs.
Right.
It increases based on the health insurance costs. So even if it doesn't increase in slabs, COVID happened. All insurance companies increase their premium. मेरे पास
They're
एक बहुत
bound to do
पुराना
that.
एक पॉलिसी है, एक 2 लाख का कवरेज है, which I took maybe around 15 years back. I am also renewing that policy. The company has also changed that policy. उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि भाई वो 5 years back they told that वो policy बहुत पुराना हो गया है, let's not continue that.
Okay.
तो मुझे कवरेज दिया एक नया पॉलिसी का, बट आई एम ऑल्सो रिन्यूइंग इट बिकॉज भाई 15 साल हो गया तो थोड़ा अटैचमेंट हो गया उसके साथ. बट यस, उस पॉलिसी कवरेज में कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. 2L coverage was very great at that time when I thought, but nowadays when I think of 2L, it is nothing. It is without 20L coverage, I don't think any family should be actually having any sort of policy. So yes, and then one more blunder people do is that they didn't understand this premium terms of a health insurance policy compared to life insurance policy. I just mentioned that, but I just want to again stretch key. Say that is like people think that the sooner I get it, there is an advantage. And they also misunderstand that ठीक है, I mean, very similar on these slides, but a little, but I would say a little extension of it. It's maybe the opposite. That when I retire, I will get my health insurance, private health insurance policy. This is the other biggest blunder that people make. Okay, and now they think that I'm covered by some policy, and maybe my company coverage will not will maybe cease to exist after I retire. Maybe I take voluntary retirement. आजकल है water क्या क्या चल रहा है, early retirement and
फायर,
enjoy पता नहीं क्या क्या, हाँ
फिनांस।
fire water earth बहुत सारा चल रहा है ऐसे acronyms. So the challenge is at the age of 35, you have worked 70 hours per day as one Mr. Mufti said, right? Working 70 hours a day, they made money. Now they are in fire mode. Suddenly, when they're in fire mode, they realize that they're already 35, 36, 37 and all. And because of the sedentary lifestyle, they've already developed diseases, lifestyle diseases. Right?
Before
That
we
time,
proceed, I would means for our viewers, what Krishna sir is saying, fire is FIRE. उसका मतलब होता है
हाँ,
कि financially independent, retired early. So वो अग्नि वाला फायर नहीं है, मीन्स जस्ट टू क्लैरिफाई.
हाँ, exactly.
सो मतलब आप यू आर
Yeah, yeah,
प्लानिंग फॉर अर्ली रिटायरमेंट 35 से 45 के बीच में, इफ यू आर प्लानिंग फॉर दैट, सो दैट यूजुअली इन टुडेज लिंगो उसको लिंग्विस्टिक्स में बोलते हैं फायर. सो लाइक प्लीज कंटिन्यू.
correct. Yes, yes, yes. Very good. Fire. Because आजकल के जो employment opportunities कुछ जगह में, कुछ sectors में है, it is reverse of what traditional salaries were. Traditional salary would be low, and then as you grow, as you increase in age, your salary increases. Now your salary is very high. As you grow in experience, your salary reduces. To be very frank, it's the opposite way out, right? So that is why fire is very common these days. So because blunder people do either fire or traditional companies also, traditional private companies, people work for something around say 50, 55 years and they retire. Right? At that time when you go for insurance, especially health insurance, you would have already developed some sort of lifestyle diseases, and either A, your premiums will be very high, or B, these days companies are outrightly rejecting the insurance policy.
Yes.
They don't want an unhealthy person. This has been, even if you demand that okay, I'm ready to pay more amount of money, right? That even then also health insurance and Sankalp, we have seen in certain cases.
Yes.
We have worked on certain cases, very challenging cases,
Yes.
where the health insurance company was declined. So the company said मुझे risk नहीं लेना है. Right? Premium लूंगा, फिर वो केस करेगा, फिर वो lawyer, फिर that guy will bring a lawyer, I'll bring a lawyer. It's kind of a waste of time for me.
क्योंकि वो इंश्योरेंस का जो पूल रहता है, जो फंड को कंपनी मैनेज करता है जिससे पेमेंट करना होता है क्लेम्स का, तो एक आपका सबस्टैंडर्ड लाइफ आ गया हु इज इन अ कॉम्प्रोमाइज स्टेट, तो वो पूरा फंड का जो पीपल है उनका प्रीमियम और उनका क्लेम सेटलमेंट को अफेक्ट करता है. सो बेसिकली इंश्योरेंस कंपनी दे आर द रिस्क मैनेजर्स, सो दे हैव टू सी इन द बेटर इंटरेस्ट ऑफ ऑल द पीपल, क्योंकि हर बंदा अगर आके कुछ ना कुछ केस फाइल करने लगा देन द कंपनी इज डूम्ड. सो दे हैव टू मेंटेन सर्टेन practices with that.
Yes.
एंड
Very
ये
good.
एक और चीज़ है कि इफ़ यू आर गोइंग फॉर एनी हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस पोस्ट 60 मीन्स आफ्टर द 60, 2-3 थिंग्स आर ऑल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट. कि होता क्या यूजुअली, एक होता है टू टाइप ऑफ पॉलिसीज आर देयर यूजुअली. एक होता है आपका प्री 60 पॉलिसीज और एक होता है पोस्ट 60 पॉलिसीज. आई एम लूजली डिफाइनिंग इट. प्री 60 पॉलिसीज को एक स्टैंडर्ड तरीके से एक्सेप्ट किया जाता है, वो हैव ऑल द बेल्स एंड विसल्स और आपका गुड पैकेज रहता है वो इंश्योरेंस कवरेज में, मीन्स लिमिटेशंस आर नॉट देयर, ये सारी कंपनीज के पास रहती पॉलिसी. एंड 60 के अबव जो होता है पॉलिसी, यूजुअली सम पॉलिसीज आर कमिंग विद अ सीनियर सिटीजन प्लान, क्योंकि सीनियर सिटीजन का प्लान वो इसीलिए लेके आते हैं क्योंकि कंपनीज नो कि क्लाइंट का कुछ ना कुछ आपका लाइफस्टाइल डिजीजेस है, रिसेंटली उनका कुछ ना कुछ ट्रीटमेंट हुआ होगा, या सम प्रॉब्लम इज देयर विद देम, जनरल हेल्थ उनका डिग्रेड हो रहा है, आर्थराइटिस है, आई साइट का प्रॉब्लम है. सो दे अंडरस्टैंड कि क्लेम्स का प्रोपोर्शन या चांसेस ज़्यादा होगा इस केस में. सो दे क्रिएट पॉलिसीज इन दैट टर्म्स so that they can cater to this type of customers. And उस केस में क्या होता है, उनका बेनिफिट्स जो रहता है, if they would have gotten in a standard terms and condition before 60, वो उनका कम हो जाता है. एंड द सेम टाइम आप 60 के ऊपर अगर आप नया पॉलिसी भी ले रहे हो तो होता क्या है कि आपका वेटिंग पीरियड तो फ्रेशली अप्लाई होगा ना आपके कंडीशंस पे. आपका प्री एग्जिस्टिंग कंडीशन में तो 2-3 साल का तो लगता ही है. फिर स्पेसिफाइड इलनेसेस या स्लो ग्रोइंग इलनेसेस बोलते हैं जिसको, नी रिप्लेसमेंट सर्जरी हो गया, आपका आई साइट का हो गया, या किसी का और अपेंडिक्स वगैरह का हो सकता है. सो उस केस में तो स्टैंडर्ड वेटिंग पीरियड तो लगेगा ही उसमें. सो देन इफ अगर आप बोलोगे पीपल हैव अनदर थिंग, आई एम वेरी सरप्राइज आज भी कि आई गॉट अ कॉल मेरे ही सोशल सर्कल में, मीन्स पेरेंट्स ऑफ माय फ्रेंड, कि संकल्प मेरा ऐसा ऐसा इशू हो गया है, डॉक्टर बोल रहा है कि गॉल ब्लैडर निकालना पड़ेगा, तो मैं इंश्योरेंस ले लूँ क्या? तो बोला सर दिस इज नॉट हाउ इट वर्क्स. ओके, कि आप इंश्योरेंस ले लोगे और फिर उसके बाद कंपनी बैठा है आपको क्लेम देने के लिए. मतलब इंश्योरेंस का मतलब ही वही है कि मेरे को पता नहीं, अनसर्टेनिटी को मैं कवर कर रहा हूँ. ठीक है, अगर आपको पता है तो फिर इंश्योरेंस लेके करोगे क्या? रिस्क इज ऑलरेडी फिक्स ना. सो यू आर बेसिकली, एंड इस केसेस में क्या होता है, पीपल हाइड सर्टन कंडीशंस की उनको ये था ये नहीं था, दे हैव सर्टन हैबिट्स, लाइफस्टाइल हैबिट्स, दे कंसील दैट, एंड क्लेम नहीं मिलता है तो देन दे बैड माउथ द इंडस्ट्री. But it's not like that.
which is probably, I missed this point, very good point. This is the other probably the biggest blunder. Even not planning for insurance, taking insurance and hiding facts. Hiding facts, you declare it. डिक्लेयर करने के बाद भी अगर राइडर लेकर आपको डिक्लाइन किया जाता है, then you have a very good case to fight in IRDA portal. Okay, IRDA portal में आप डाल दो तो 30 days 45 days में उसका आ जाता है typically outcome. You have a very strong case to fight for. But अगर आपने declare नहीं किया है और case कर दिया है IRDA वो वेबसाइट में, right, the complaint site में, and then IRDA asks give me the documents, तो कंपनी बोलेगा देखो भाई मेडिकल हिस्ट्री तो बता रहा है कि इसके पास डायबिटीज था 10-15 साल से, इसने डिक्लेयर नहीं किया है तो हम क्या करें? Then outrightly it is rejected. And these days claim information, insurance information, KYC information, these are all held at a very central level.
Right.
So declination of claims, fraudulent activities, these are all shared as per parliamentary acts, like who are committing fraud and all that, because this is to improve the the insurance sector itself. You cannot keep committing fraud. People took 20 insurance policies and 10-15 life insurance policy ले लिया, 50 health insurance policy ले लिया. So most of this information is shared. They are not that publicly shared, but they are shared at a
central
very
repository level पे, means so that the institutions can access that.
Institutions will know who are committing fraud. अभी वो fraud पकड़ना it's very easy now with the information technology advancement. It's very easy to capture fraud. और एक बार fraud पकड़ लिया मतलब it is like the Indian court system या police system. कहीं पर murder हुआ, आप सन्यासी बन गए हो after your crime, but आपको नहीं पकड़ेंगे. You are a fraud means you are a fraud. Unfortunately, that is the way the world thinks. आप अंडर डेवलप्ड कंट्री बोलो, डेवलपिंग कंट्री बोलो, डेवलप्ड कंट्री बोलो, कहीं पर भी जाओ वही केस है. ह्यूमन मेंटालिटी. He has committed a fraud, he will commit a fraud in future.
Social rules are more or the same across the civilization. So
exactly. दो था social rules. वो आपने फ्रॉड किया है तो even if you plan to court, बोलोगे नहीं मुझे ये पॉलिसी नहीं चाहिए, वो दूसरा पॉलिसी चाहिए, दूसरा पॉलिसी का एजेंट बोलेगा हाँ सर सब हो जाएगा, मगर कोर्ट करने के बाद the underwriting team may not even accept your policy also. ऐसा भी हो सकता है.
And another thing कि since we are talking about that information sharing and central repository से ये specifically I'll give a small example in life insurance industry. Insurance company आज के डेट में if you are going for any term insurance or any life insurance product in today's date, वो आपको पूछेंगे कि आपके पास ऑलरेडी कौन सा लाइफ इंश्योरेंस प्रोडक्ट है और किस कंपनी से कितने कवरेज का है. सो ये वो इसलिए नहीं पूछेंगे कि उनको नहीं पता है, दे नो इट कि आपके पास क्या क्या प्रोडक्ट्स अवेलेबल है, बट बिकॉज द इंश्योरेंस जो प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इंश्योरेंस है इट इज उसका प्रिंसिपल इज ऑफ अटमोस्ट गुड फेथ, उबेरिमा फाइट्स जिसको बोलते हैं. दैट मीन्स वी आर डिस्क्लोजिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन टू ईच अदर इन अ गुड फेथ मैनर. दैट इज द प्रिंसिपल ऑन विच दिस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज बेस्ड अपॉन. एंड उसको चेक करने के लिए कंपनी आस्क कि आप बताओ क्या क्या है करके. उनको पता है बट दे वांट टू चेक व्हाट इज योर इंटेंशन ऑफ डूइंग दैट. मान के चलो कि मेरे पास ऑलरेडी 1 करोड़ का इंश्योरेंस है, लाइफ इंश्योरेंस टर्म लाइफ में लेके रखा हूँ, एंड बिकॉज आई एम ऑल एलिजिबल फॉर अनदर 2 करोड़ लेट्स से, आई एम एक्सरसाइजिंग कि आई विल टेक एडिशनल 1 करोड़. ओके, तो कंपनी मेरे से पूछेगा कि आपके पास ऑलरेडी कौन सा इंश्योरेंस है कि नहीं है करके. तो अगर मैं मेंशन नहीं करूंगा कि 1 करोड़ का नहीं है मेरे पास, तो इंश्योरर विल फ्लैग माई प्रोफाइल इन देयर इंटरनल सिस्टम कि द पर्सन हैज नॉट पर्टिकुलरली डिक्लेयर्ड कि इनके पास ऑलरेडी 1 करोड़ का इंश्योरेंस था. दो इट विल नॉट अफेक्ट मी, बट हो सकता है एट द टाइम ऑफ क्लेम्स एंड अगर एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी सिचुएशन में मिसहैपनिंग या डेथ हुआ है तो इन दैट केस दे कैन सेट अप एन इंक्वायरी ऑल्सो कि प्रॉपरली डिस्क्लोजर्स वगैरह मेंटेन नहीं हुआ था, आपको ऑलरेडी तो 1 करोड़ का आपने इंश्योरेंस लेके रखा था, बट हमारे कंपनी के टर्म्स के हिसाब से यू आर नॉट एलिजिबल फॉर एडिशनल 1 करोड़ बिकॉज योर ह्यूमन लाइफ वैल्यू इज ऑल्सो देयर. सो to sum it up, means things are getting very formalized and properly robust. The tech is coming in India, and people, because multiple generations and people are living in India coming from various socio-economic backgrounds, India is changing. Things are going in a very good direction, so for the better. And and how IT is helping in that is like you already have experience with IT, you will know more than me with that regard. So yeah, things are actually pretty good with going that. So I am taking some of the viewer question, around 3 to 4 question we will take. So one of our viewer or friend has asked a question. He's from Rohtak, Haryana. His name is Mr. Pankaj Rathi. So Mr. Rathi is asking, I'm turning 26 soon and will no longer be covered in my parents' health insurance. What should I do? What are my options?
कुछ नहीं, take a private health insurance policy for yourself. and one more thing, health insurance, see, life insurance people take thumb rules like income into 10 and all that. Health insurance, there is no thumb rule. Not that my income is 5 lakhs, so therefore hospital will charge me only 2 lakhs.
Right.
Okay, so health insurance is depending on the type of operation that will be as a human body will undergo. Right. So it is always better to take something around, if he can afford to pay the premium. Most of the companies these days have very attractive premium rates, although premiums have increased after COVID, but still like I said, take at least 15 lakhs of health insurance coverage, and take from one of the newer policies wherein there is no room limit, no sublimits, and a very healthy no claim bonus like 2x, 3x amounts
And
will be
actually,
good.
another thing with that regard, I would make some correction with that. The concept of no claim bonus right now in the new age policies, आपका COVID या post COVID के time में, the concept has actually become obsolete. Okay, because the reason,
Hmm.
जैसे कि पहले होता था कि when you are buying a car, there was an option कि AC वाला कार लेना है या non AC वाला कार लेना है. Right now, AC has become standard right now. So
Hmm.
you will not get any car which is without AC in today's date. So same thing happens in health
Correct.
insurance also. The companies have in the good policies they have got the concept of no claim bonus. मतलब they have
Hmm.
come up कि भाई आप claim करो कि नहीं claim करो, we will add it in the policy as form of loyalty addition. Because you are staying in the companies are having tough time retaining the customers, so that's why
Hmm.
that is a good part for the customers, that whether they claim it or not their coverage is going to increase 2x 3x 4x depending upon आपका जो policy
Hmm.
condition है. And in some policies another thing is there, आपका जो unutilized coverage है, let's say you have taken a 20 lakh policy and you have not claimed anything from that, so next year वो carry forward कर देंगे उसको. It is not like कि percentage add करेंगे, it is unutilized coverage
Correct.
that will carry forward. So these things are coming up. So no claim bonus by the virtue of it, it has become relatively obsolete,
You are right.
and loyalty addition and
You are right. It is
hmm,
correct. It is a normal feature now, but
right, right,
I mean, it's a normal feature, and some of the policies like no claim bonus is also now becoming sorry no, for no limits, no room limits, no sublimits. It's slowly becoming
standard,
a normal feature,
yes,
standard. It's no longer that you have to pay extra premium for it.
right.
They are anyway adjusting it in the premium rate itself, which makes it more profitable for the companies also.
It's a bundle
Because
package.
earlier, so they're increasing the premium rates. So premium rate is again the premium that you pay for per lakh of insurance coverage. अगर किसी को premium rate जो मैं बता रहा हूँ, तो आप 10 लाख दो तो पर लाख के लिए अगर पहले 100 रुपए था, अभी दैट चार्जिंग 115, but 115 is still worth it because it doesn't complicate the product. तो पहले क्या होता था कि आप राइडर लो, नो कवरेज राइडर लो, सब लिमिट हटाने के लिए, अगर राइडर नहीं है तो कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं, एक्सेट्रा. तो
Right.
नाउ आई थिंक द हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस इज बिकमिंग मोर सिंपल. So if someone is 26 or less than 30, please take a health insurance policy, take medical checkup, maintain a good, healthy lifestyle, and uh, do ensure that you take two things early. One is health insurance and other is term insurance.
Okay. So I think, Mr. Rati, for you, we have well answered your question. We'll move all the way to south. That is Namaskaram to Kerala. Another question from Mr. Jovi Joseph. Mr. Jovi is asking, he's a pre-retiree. He'll be retiring in a couple of years. He's asking, I'll be retiring soon and I am not sure. I think I'm not very well covered with health insurance. What are my options? I have a sizable corpus, retirement corpus for me, but what are the checks and balance I need to maintain right now with my health
Mhm.
insurance?
Okay, so Joby Joseph, Namaskaram. I was also in Kerala for quite some time, so
Yes,
okay, in case you can drop a note to me,
we are
we can
frequent
take some
travelers
details.
to Kerala.
Yeah, frequent travels to Kerala. Wonderful state, very clean state, very well
Yes.
developed state. Very nice to be there. So yes, so a couple of years to retirement. First things first, since if you are already covered in corporate health insurance policy, always try to connect with your HR to ask whether you can quote that policy or not.
Hmm.
So quoting that policy is one of the easiest ways to get a continued coverage, and also check whether the pre-existing issues, everything will be covered in that policy. Right. So that is point number one. So sizable corpus. The problem nowadays is people think sizable corpus is a very subjective word. So sizable corpus, I have seen people. I have made folios with several crores, and people saying, "Ah, ये retirement नहीं है, मेरे लिए retirement नहीं है." Okay, so I don't know how much sizable corpus, but yes, please keep aside at least some 5L for emergency health insurance funds. So that's how I would plan it out. Point number one, ask your HR for portability of your current health insurance policy. Keep at least a 5L, because a 5L will act as a buffer
Hmm.
for any health insurance needs that may arise. And the other thing is get quotes. Get quotes for health insurance policies. At this age, typically at a little elderly age, the premium rates will be higher. So what you can definitely do is take a deductible type of a thing. So you take
Correct.
at least a 1L deductible. So I have set aside 5L for your emergency healthcare
Hmm.
needs. Out of which 1L you keep it as deductible. So 0 to 1 lakh ke liye, the health insurance policy will not pay you any amount of money. But beyond 1 lakh, you can take from say 1 to 10 lakhs or 1 to 15 lakhs. and probably the premium rates will usually become half if you take a 0 to 1 lakh 0 to 1 lakh kind of a deductible. So 0 to 1 lakh, you will have to pay. Say, for example, if the bill comes to 3 lakhs, right? And if the insurance company itself pays only 2.5 lakhs, I'm just giving you this case because 50,000, 100% payment nobody gives. So then what happens is 0 to 1 lakh in that bill of 3 lakhs, 0 to 1 lakh you are paying. Then 1.5 lakhs again company will pay. The remaining amount you again have to pay because insurance company pays only that 1.5 L. Now you may be thinking, some people will ask, what is the big use and all that? I'm paying premium, but that 1.5 L is at least paid by the company.
Right.
So I would definitely advise, like what Sankalp mentioned, that before 60 years, take policies. Most of the policies are not that very high premium, and especially if you take within the deductible option, it significantly reduces the premiums that you will have to pay.
And to explain the deductible in a very simplistic manner, deductible का मतलब होता है कि you have defined your liability कि इतना अगर 10 लाख का पॉलिसी लेके रखे और 1 लाख का आपका डिडक्टिबल है, मतलब अगर 10 लाख तक का क्लेम जाता है तो पहला 1 लाख यू विल मैनेज बाय योरसेल्फ, मतलब फर्स्ट 1 लाख इज नॉट द इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. अबव एंड बियॉन्ड 1 लाख का जो एक्सपेंसेस आएगा तब इंश्योरेंस कंपनी का रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी चालू होगा. इसका मतलब है कि 1 लाख तक का जो इनिशियल अमाउंट है, द इंश्योरेंस कंपनी इज नॉट टेकिंग एनी रिस्क ऑन दैट. सो वो जो प्रीमियम भी लेंगे वो इनिशियल 1 लाख का मेडिकल एक्सपेंसेस के लिए नहीं लेंगे. हैंस जो प्रीमियम भी रहता है वो उसका जो अमाउंट होता है इट बिकम्स रिड्यूस प्रपोर्शनेटली, बिकॉज 1 लाख का क्लेम का होने का चांसेस ज़्यादा है एज कम्पेयर टू 10 लाख का सिंगल क्लेम. 1 लाख के 10 क्लेम्स आ सकते हैं कंपनीज के पास फ्रीक्वेंटली, बट 10 लाख का एक क्लेम्स द फ्रीक्वेंसी इज लिटिल लेस. So keeping that in mind, the very smart people are there. Like you are from IIM also. Your friends must also be there. They're working with insurance companies. They are bringing these innovations and all. So this is how.
ऐसे नहीं कि सिर्फ IIM वाले innovation लाते हैं, बहुत सब लोग innovation लाकर देते हैं.
So this is how actually things are evolving, and that too, Mr. Joby, he's a pre-retiree, hence he has not attained the age of 60. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, the type of 2 categories of policy, the comprehensive policy which is available before 60. So Mr. Joby has that option to exercise that option right now because he's lesser than 60. So he will have that. If he's above 60, then his options are little limited. So I hope Mr. Joby Joseph, we both have answered your question. So again, let's go to your land, Mr. Rath, all the way from Bhubaneswar, in your neighborhood only. I'm getting another question from Mrs. Priyadarshini Mohanty. So what Mohanty ma'am is asking is, how can I ensure a smooth claim process after a specific medical procedure? So what are the things that we need to check, and what are the checklist in the process of health insurance so that अच्छे से claim हमारा pass हो जाए?
अच्छे से क्लेम के लिए स्टेप नंबर 1 is एक अच्छे से एजेंट के थ्रू जाना पड़ता है. सो इफ यू बाई इट थ्रू एन एजेंट, इट इज स्टिल कंसिडर्ड वो 3% 4% का कुछ जो डिस्काउंट मिलता है ऑनलाइन में. also help, I'm not saying that won't help, but at least having and which is why आप देखेंगे कि फाइनेंशियल न्यूज़पेपर्स भी ये रिकमेंड करते हैं, जनरली भी रिकमेंड कि हेल्थ के लिए आपका एक एजेंट थ्रू परचेस करना थोड़ा बेटर है. Not necessarily involved. See, nothing is 100% efficient. Even in the real world also, nothing is 100% efficient. But generally preferred. क्योंकि क्या होगा कि claim processing में, while the agent is on the sales side and not on the operation side, the agent can still have some influence over connecting with the company sales कि भाई मेरे clients हैं वहाँ पे, so you have to help them to the maximum. Okay. Point number 1. Point number 2 is smooth claim experience. If it is yes, emergency को आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते. Emergency हो गया, accident हो गया, आप admitted हो गए hospital में, etc. बट अगर कुछ प्लानिंग करना है कि हाँ क्लेम एक्सपीरियंस प्लानिंग करना है, तो यू हैव टू विजिट द हॉस्पिटल ट्वाइस और थ्राइस. उनका जो इंश्योरेंस डिपार्टमेंट है वहां पर जाकर क्लियर डॉक्यूमेंटेशन करना पड़ता है. एंड यू हैव टू बी रेडी विद ऑल द डॉक्यूमेंट्स. एंड इंडिया में आप जितना भी बोलो डिजी यात्रा, डिजिटल, ये डिजी लॉकर, हाँ, ऑलवेज इन योर हाउस कीप आधार कार्ड कॉपी एंड पैन का कॉपी. सब मेंबर का 3 कॉपी रखकर रखना है, क्योंकि उस टाइम पर फोटोकॉपी मशीन मिलना बहुत मुश्किल होगा. डॉक्टर मिल जाएंगे आप, ओके, बट फोटोकॉपी मशीन मिलना नहीं
like that.
So keep that on. Okay. And also most important, we talked about disclosures, the right disclosures, very very important. When you buy the policy, please disclose properly, have the right disclosures. अगर 1-2 बार दारू भी पी रहे हो, दारू पार्टीज कर रहे हो and all that, please do mention that you are having alcohol. The other thing is, do let everybody in your family know कि आपके पास इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी है,
right.
और कहाँ पर है और वो पॉलिसी नंबर क्या है।
राइट।
वहां पीपी में जाकर, हॉस्पिटल में जाकर बोले मेरे पास इंश्योरेंस है, वो पैन कार्ड से कहीं से पता लगा लेते हैं, बट द चैलेंज इज, यू नो, दैट एरिया इज नॉट अ हैप्पीएस्ट एरिया।
राइट।
वहां लोग हंसकर नहीं जाते हैं टीपीए, वो दैट गाय इटसेल्फ विल बी फेसिंग ऑल डिप्रेसिंग
इट्स
फैक्ट्स
अ
आल्सो,
क्राइसिस
वो भी बहुत
मैनेजमेंट
मेंटली,
डेस्टिनेशन।
it's a room where everybody is sad. Okay, तो वहां जाकर आप बोलेंगे कि अरे मिस्टर मिश्रा का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी है, दैट पर्सन विल नॉट बी एबल टू will not be able to find out your health insurance policy. So photocopy of your Aadhaar, photocopy of your PAN, photocopy of your driving license, photocopy of a passport, okay,
Yes.
and copies of your health insurance and term insurance policy
And if
should be
you're
available and
and
accessible.
if your actually advisor is a good and professional, he in advance would have maintained all these copies on your behalf in his database.
Exactly.
So and
Exactly. Which is why you need an advisor कि कुछ हुआ तो call that person. He will have all the documents on that.
and
Because policy number उनके पास होगा.
एंड इंश्योरेंस में होता क्या है कि सिंस इन्वेस्टमेंट्स एंड ऑल वी अंडरस्टैंड कि द प्राइमरी इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ द कंसल्टेंट इज रिक्वायर्ड इन दैट बिकॉज यू आर डायरेक्टली डीलिंग विद द क्लाइंट, बट इन इंश्योरेंस के केस में यू डू नॉट नो द हु इज द अफेक्टेड पार्टी, whether your client itself is the affected party, then the state is compromised for both of you for establishing a proper communication. Okay, so in that situation make sure that any of important family member is also connected with your advisor so that they can communicate on your behalf, so that they will help, or they can pass the information across and do the needful. So it's a form of pre-admission consultation ki I think I am having this issue and I went for this diagnosis and consultation, doctor ऐसे ऐसे बोल रहा है and अभी बताओ कि क्या करना है सो दैट वी गॉट द क्लेम प्रॉपरली, सो देन ही विल शी विल गाइड यू इन अ गुड मैनर कि अच्छा ये दीज आर चेक्स एंड बैलेंसेज यू हैव टू मेंटेन. बट अगेन इसमें भी वही होता है कि मीन्स द मीन्स insurance industry have been a very guilty of not being adhering to the utmost high standards of industrial practice, because people have been doing this business in a part-time manner or in a unsincerely manner, but they have not realized the importance of what professionals can play when the claims are coming and this emergency situations are there. But things are changing, people are understanding the importance of proper professional in this regard, and the things are improving in that way. So again another questions I'm taking. Let's go to central or our Andhra Pradesh. Taking another question from Hyderabad. It is of Mr. Abdul Qureshi. Mr. Abdul Qureshi is asking a question. He has diabetes and hypertension, and yeah, this is pretty much it. And his question is, how can I find suitable coverage for my pre-existing condition without having waiting period or exclusions? So Mr. Qureshi is asking that. Let's address Mr. Qureshi's query.
So that maybe Sankalp you will be able to answer better. But there are policies that have got riders also, but it's going to be a little difficult. There are now policies that are now saying that ठीक है आपके पास थोड़ा सा pre-existing disease, तो आजकल सबके पास hypertension होता है. Life is full of tension, so everybody has hypertension.
Hypertension.
And India में मिठाई बहुत ज्यादा खाते हैं, so people have some sort of diabetes and hypertension, diabetes all related. So, but it depends to the extent of how much is the hypertension. Usually, if you're having medicines, it's well maintained, you're maintaining a decent, healthy life, then you should not be denied a health insurance policy, but declare it. But there are riders, and in fact, there are certain special policies also for such cases. Either normal policy, when I say normal policy, again, new age policies, and with certain riders will help you solve your problem. But again, this requires a deep dive, because you see, hypertension is again a very vast. Hypertension can be understood by an insurance company differently,
Yes.
by a doctor differently, by an insurance agent differently, by a financial advisor differently. Okay, hypertension. So to a doctor, I think hypertension means nothing. They will require more than just the word hypertension. To the insurance company, hypertension will have a lot of alarm bells ringing.
Yes.
Hypertension wala hai. Okay, to the financial advisor, it will be very confusing statement. By hypertension hai kya kare? Right? Okay. So the advisor is stuck between the client, the hospital, and the insurance company. So it's going to be a little bit of challenge, but post a detailed medical examination and a very honest medical examination, you'll have to take a call. And मैं बार-बार बता रहा हूँ कि please do not lie to a doctor in terms of medical in terms of medical health, because a body, the medical reports generally cannot lie. So it is a little it is very important to declare these things very honestly.
So, means in Mr. Qureshi के case में क्या है कि since he's mentioning hypertension and diabetes, if he's around I think the age of 44, so it's a pretty it's a very normal age, so no issues with that. So, but still he can opt for a coverage which is giving him around the day one coverage for diabetes and hypertension both. So, if any issue which is arising whose root cause is diabetes and hypertension, in that claim he will be well covered and the company will not have any grounds to reject the claim. So that would be a good thing for him. And he sees since he has a family, he can go for a family floater policy. And जो premium भी उसमें होगा, उस केस में जो मिस्टर कुरैशी का ही प्रीमियम will be an additional premium. एंड उनके फैमिली मेंबर्स के केस में दैट प्रीमियम विल नॉट अप्लाई. तो पीपल थिंक कि हाँ मेरे फैमिली का अगर 40,000 का प्रीमियम आ रहा है, अगर मैं हाइपरटेंशन का राइडर ले लूँगा तो वो 40,000 के ऊपर बढ़ जाएगा. बट इट इज़ नॉट लाइक दैट, क्योंकि आपको हाइपरटेंशन है तो आपका प्रीमियम विल बी राइडर का आपके ऊपर ही अप्लाई होगा. फिर उसको ऐड करके वो आपको ग्रॉस प्रीमियम मेंशन करेंगे. So it is like that.
Correct.
So to sum up Mr. Qureshi's query, definitely your type of policies are available and you can get well covered within that. Okay, so taking the last question and gradually we will conclude the session. I think we have taken a lot of time of Mr. Rath today and I'm very showing my gratitude that he gave us this time. So taking this question from all the way from South India once again, Madurai, Mr. J. Subramanian. So he is running one cloth mill factory. He's in manufacturing and he has a small plant, so he's a self-employed and doing his own business. So he's asking ki, what are the options available for me, what should I do, because I'm not into job and all, and what is the right way for me to proceed in a self-employed and business class. Means but the policies are usually same only, but what are the things I need to take care?
I think for self-employed and own businesses, it depends on the size of the business, etc. There are multiple options. As an individual, yes, he can take his own individual policy. But I would suggest that Mr. Subramaniam, please connect with Mr. Sankar Dubey. You may have even better options from your business side also.
Yes.
So if there are employees that are to be covered, he can himself be covered under that. He can get into business insurances and have his business cover him because he's anyway in business. So that's his source of livelihood. There are good options if he gets himself covered from his business,
yes,
rather than taking individual policies, which are okay for people who are salaried, maybe who wants an extra coverage and maybe post-retirement. Remember, when salaried people don't think about doing any other job after their their employment is over, right? So those who are in business, who are self-employed, I mean, we can't explain everything in maybe 2 minutes, but yes, there are other categories where he can get in through his business itself.
Right.
So cloth mill, he will definitely have employees and all that. He can cover employees also. Employees also will be a little bit more loyal to the organization if they see that there are some added benefits. Plus, he will get tax benefits, etc. when he gets himself covered from his business side. So he can do both health and life insurance from his business side. This is what I would recommend.
Actually, the products will be the same only because it's a standard industry. But the structuring of the products and what is the accounting and taxation procedure that need to be followed will be depending based on the entities with whom we are doing the contract. So, अगर business वगैरह है कोई partnership firm या company है, so that in that case the company can be the owner of the policies and Mr. Subramaniam and other employees, if he want to add, will be the beneficiary in the policy, and he can take a form of group health insurance which he will be controlling. So he will have the entire control and he will take the policy from the company and his entity will be the owner. And उनको जो GST 18% का लगता है, means वो health insurance में that he can also take as an input tax credit, and at the same time वो जो premium उनके profit and loss accounts में आएगा, it will reduce the profit and वो tax benefit भी उनको उस चीज़ का मिल जाएगा 25% का. So he's winning on the both the end and the coverage तो that is already there. So these are the things that this online guys and other people are not going to tell. So if you are doing the entire consulting and learning from the professional, these things will happen. This benefit you will get. And plus जो group health insurance में आप जाएंगे तो usually क्या होता है, आपका limitations are less in group health insurance because आप एक सिंगल क्लाइंट से लार्ज पूल ऑफ जो मनी कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं एज अ प्रीमियम, तो वो वेटिंग पीरियड आर का प्री एग्जिस्टिंग डिजीज वगैरह का यूजुअली दे वेव ऑफ एंड यू कैन ऑल्सो नेगोशिएट विद द कंपनी ऑल्सो. सो यू आर इन अ पावर पोजिशन एट दैट टाइम. So that thing is there.
Exactly. And which is why we always, and I always recommend that financial planning should be very holistic. It just is not that I need a health insurance policy. Right? We need to understand who you are and where are you, and hence these solutions will be there. Solution ultimately product, like Sankalp mentioned, product वही होगा, वही कुछ XYZ health insurance product ही होगा. But then how you purchase it, how you want to run it, that is very, very important.
So it's just like that.
So I hope Mr. Subramaniam got the answer.
Yes, definitely.
And please do let everybody else in Madurai know that Sankalp Dubey को subscribe करो.
Sure. And to sum it up, these financial products are just like that. These are ingredients to a dish. Okay, it depends upon the chef who's creating the dish for you. आप 1 किलो आटा लाओगे, उससे आप रोटी बना सकते हो, ब्रेड बना सकते हो, या पिज़्ज़ा भी बना सकते हो. It depends upon that. What are you going to do with it? So it is just like that. So I think we had a very good session today, and we will see Mr. Rath in another series after I conclude that. Next series is my life insurance series, which will be coming up in couple of days. So all the guys, please stay tuned for that. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And you can also reach out to Mr. Rath. I'll be showing his number below. If you have any queries and all, you can connect to Mr. Rath all the way from Bhubaneswar, Odisha. He has a website finvestor.in that you can also check out. In which is the landing page is there. You can get to know about his services and all as a SEBI RIA. And yeah, that would be it. Thank you, Mr. Rath, for your time today. Okay.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Sankar. Thank you. And I hope you guys had a good session with us. Thank you.
okay.